Hello everyone, and welcome to this special back-to-school edition of Jefferson College Today. I'm your host Roger Barentine, bringing you the latest news about your community college. And in the second half of our show, I'll be visiting with Mark Byington about the new criminal justice program. With that, here's what's happening at Jefferson College. In an effort to proudly welcome area residents of all ages to the newly constructed state-of-the-art education center in northern Jefferson County, Jefferson College Arnold will host an open house at its new site located near the intersection of Highway 141 and Astor Way, behind the Arnold Library and Recreation Complex, on Saturday, August 18th from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Now, visitors will be able to tour the 40,000 square foot facility featuring science and computer labs, smart classrooms, library, learning center, and bookstore, as well as meet with staff and faculty members, view winning photos from Jefferson College's Spirit of Jefferson County photo contest, and register for fall classes. The family-friendly event will also include giveaways and light refreshments. The $8 million expansion is directly linked to recommendations from elected, civic, and educational leaders that reviewed higher education needs in northern Jefferson County. Among the building's many features are 9 electronic smart classrooms, 2 fully equipped science classrooms and labs, 6 computer classrooms, an academic support center, library and information commons, learning center assessment center, a lecture hall and community meeting room, student services, bookstore, student lounge, and an administrative office for Missouri Baptist University. Classes in the new building will begin the week of August the 20th, and the facility at 4500 Jeffco Boulevard is now closed. For more information about the Jefferson College Arnold Open House, be sure to call extension 597 or visit the Jefferson College website at www.jeffco.edu. In other news, as part of an expanded curriculum designed to support enrollment growth based on employment projections from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the name of the Police Training Institute was recently changed to the Jefferson College Law Enforcement Academy. The innovative program is the first of its kind in Missouri to offer students the option of receiving both an Associate of Applied Science degree and Class A certification for completing an additional 520-hour curriculum beyond the standard 480-hour basic program certified by POST, which is the Peace Officers and Standards Training. Now, participants will be able to complete the new 520-hour upgrade in only 2 semesters by attending part-time during the day or evening. The program will start in August, and then classes will meet on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and selected Saturdays. Instructional units include police patrol, traffic, legal subjects, the Missouri Criminal Code, criminal investigation, records and reports, juvenile justice, police armament, and the Academy also has a state-of-the-art firearms training system machine on site, as well as physical training in self-defense, first aid, defensive driving, and community relations. A separate application to attend the Law Enforcement Academy is required after admission to Jefferson College. Enrollment also requires Missouri Post-Commission approval. Now, for more information about registration for the Jefferson College Law Enforcement Academy, contact Director Diane Skanga at extension 425. Well, students who want to learn skills required in TV broadcasting will benefit from a new production center this fall on the Jefferson College Hillsborough campus that includes Apple Macintosh Pro computer systems and state-of-the-art editing software. The new Journalism and TV Production Center will provide students with the latest and most popular instructional technology in the field. Using Final Cut Pro, which is a nonlinear professional editing software system, they will have hands-on access to create news stories for the college's own station you're watching now, JCTV. The Production Center is a continued effort to equip students with hands-on production skills where the college has already invested in professional DVC Pro cameras and television studio facilities. Instructor Christy Young says the Production Center is needed for students who are planning to continue their education at a 4-year institution or enter the workforce after Jefferson College. Intro to TV production includes experience with studio and remote cameras, lighting, audio, producing, directing, video continuity, interviewing, and news. Students in turn produce a 10-minute final project which combines the use of all skills taught in the television production course. As well, Television Production 2 emphasizes individual production of short television features through the production techniques of planning, shooting, and editing. The course includes VCR operations, news packages, news features, commercials, and control room post-production editing. Now, TV production courses are offered through the Speech and Drama Department, and both classes meet once a week on Tuesdays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. beginning the week of August the 20th. For additional information about TV production or journalism classes available this fall, contact Dr. Mindy Seltzer, Chief Academic Officer and Dean of Arts and Science Education at extension 329. And finally, the events of 9/11, the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the tragic shootings at Virginia Tech have all brought the issue of conflict to the forefront of society in the United States. As part of a significant expansion of the Jefferson College Criminal Justice Program, a new course titled Homeland Security is being offered this fall from 3:30 to 4:45 p.m. on Monday and Wednesday at the Hillsborough campus. Through a series of roundtable exercises and small group discussions, students will explore several real-world acts of terrorism. Class members will examine how the events occur from the viewpoint of a terrorist, developing a mindset of the new warfare and creating new strategies of preventing such acts from occurring in the future. The Criminal Justice Program provides opportunities for students to enter immediately into the profession or to continue their education through transfer programs. The curriculum is designed for those with a variety of goals, including those who plan to work with law enforcement agencies, those already employed as officers who wish to advance in their jobs, and those preparing for advanced study in law enforcement, police management, corrections, or probation and parole. Criminal justice faculty include working professionals who are active in a variety of fields such as law enforcement, courts, corrections, juvenile justice, and security. And those instructors are Mark Byington, Tim Lewis, Forrest Wegge, and Doug Roos. Students in the Criminal Justice Program may choose from several degree and certificate options, including an Associate of Applied Science degree in Criminal Justice or Law Enforcement, a Career and Technical Education certificate, and an Associate of Arts transfer degree on campus or online. For more information about the Homeland Security course or the Criminal Justice Program, be sure to contact Mark Byington at extension 373. Don't forget, I'll be having an interview with Mr. Byington later on in the show. And to support the mission of Jefferson College, JCTV is continually working to provide viewers with educational and informational programming that is unique and exclusive to Jefferson County. If you have suggestions regarding JCTV or the types of programs you'd like to see, feel free to contact the station by writing to JCTV, Channel 21, 1000 Viking Drive, Hillsborough, Missouri 63050, or by emailing jctv@jeffco.edu. Don't forget, if you're looking for the latest JCTV broadcast schedule, visit the Jefferson College website at www.jeffco.edu and then simply click on the Community heading found on the home page. Stay tuned now for the second half of our show as I interview Mark Byington about Jefferson College's newly improved Criminal Justice Program.
You may not know their names, but the students who are helped through a Jefferson College Foundation scholarship carry thanks in their hearts. It's for the kindness that our contributors have shown. Make a difference in their tomorrows.
Education, the great equalizer. It doesn't just mean you get more knowledge, it means you improve your quality of life.
Give to the Jefferson College Foundation today.
Welcome to Automotive Technology at Jefferson College, where students learn important industry skills every day.
I'm really interested in automotive, pursuing it as a career. Jefferson College has all the great tools, books, everything you're going to need in your career. Their instructors are great, and it is really interesting learning different parts of the car.
Jefferson College offers outstanding instructors teaching in state-of-the-art classrooms. The automotive shop area has the latest in precision tools.
I believe one of the strongest parts of our program for Jefferson College students is we do not let the student leave until they understand the processes involved. We work with the students one-on-one until they are comfortable enough in the knowledge they have and the skill level that they have that they can perform at industry level.
Instruction includes brake jobs, machining drum and rotor, tune-ups, engine repair, cylinder head work, wheel alignment, and electrical work.
I was very impressed with the professors here. I talked to both of them. They were very awesome. I like the fact that the campus is very close to home and it's affordable. And the employers that I talked to were very impressed with Jefferson College students.
Jefferson College graduates get jobs in their field. The Automotive Technology Department has a 95% success ratio with graduates working at many companies throughout the area.
What the employer was looking for was people with fresh minds that know the new technology and all those things I learned here at Jefferson College.
Discover your future with automotive technology at Jefferson College.
Hello and welcome to the Jefferson College Spotlight here on JCTV. I'm your host, Roger Barentine, and this afternoon, in the wake of the recent tragedy at Virginia Tech, we thought it'd be a good time to talk about Jefferson College's response as well as its revamped program in criminal justice. To that end, it's a very special guest today to have. It's my pleasure, Jefferson College Assistant Professor in Criminal Justice, Mark Byington. Hi, Mark. Welcome to Jefferson College Today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tell us a little bit about, if you will, your background. I know you've had a variety of experiences and situations that you've dealt with. Tell us a little bit about those things, particularly as they pertain to public safety and the issues that surround criminal justice.
Well, I've had a unique opportunity and have been blessed throughout my career to take part in a lot of various opportunities within criminal justice. Most previously, I was the director of the Missouri Police Corps, which was a specialized program under the Office of Justice, Department of Justice programs. And at that time, I served as post commissioner for the state of Missouri, representing all the 19 training academies throughout the state. Prior to that, I was a director of a regional academy, and prior to that, I served as a police officer with the Dallas Police Department in Dallas, Texas.
That's a pretty extensive background.
It is extensive when you start breaking down all the opportunities within that. That's a pretty quick summation of 20 years of law enforcement, but it's were some very unique opportunities.
You know, one of the things I found interesting before we came on the air today is the fact that you've had a number of instances where you've been referred to in terms of being the expert. Tell us a little bit about some of those interviews and other situations where media all across the country have called on you.
Well, especially after the 9/11, the wake of the terrorist attack, the police corps became involved with several training entities outside the United States, primarily from Israel. And because of that, we developed some unique training for law enforcement officers. We held the first state and local law enforcement training nationwide right here in Missouri. And because of that, the New Yorker featured us in articles, as well as Discovery Channel followed around the entire training program for about 4 episodes of, I believe it was Justice Files.
Wow, that's terrific.
It was, and it was rather unique, although the strangest one was HBO, although it's never come to air. Well, we've been featured in little clips. The episodes were supposed to be aired, but I think that was the most unique experience because as a high ropes instructor, having a camera on you when you're 50 feet in the air and a mic right at your face, yes, it's a dangerous situation. So
you also spoke of the tragedy of September 11th, 2001. You had, I wouldn't say a fortunate, but you were on the scene doing some other kind of training. Tell us some of the things that you did then in terms of providing news back to this area.
Well, I was in Boston at the time, had just left Indianapolis, and it was just about a week after 9/11. And so I was asked by the local radio station, KTJJ, which would be the affiliate of KJEF, to do interviews from 9/11 or from Ground Zero. And so therefore I did some remote interviews off the cell phone while at the scene and relayed them back to the reporters here in Missouri.
At this point, obviously, we're just days removed from the tragedy and the situation that occurred at Virginia Tech. As we try to localize something of that magnitude here to Jefferson College and even the Jefferson County area, is there anything really that a campus can do, a public place can do, to be completely safe and completely removed from a situation such as what happened at Virginia Tech?
No, I really don't believe that you can be 100% safe. I know people would like to, but outside of living in a steel vault and protecting yourself without ever interacting with anyone, I don't really believe you can be 100% safe, especially a school campus. So, Virginia Tech was a unique incident in the fact that we don't have them on a regular basis. But I don't know at the time of the immediate incident that anything could have changed what initially occurred.
I know one of the things that have happened here at Jefferson as a result of that, of course, is that the administration, the Board of Trustees, is in the process of reviewing its procedures, reviewing its policies. What are the proper steps that one can take or that should be taken to hopefully prevent as best as possible something of this magnitude happening?
Well, I started thinking about that in preparing for today, and I look back in the work that we did with an Israeli security unit, and I remember the general saying that the key thing for us to be aware of is that we have to constantly be alert of our surroundings. And unfortunately, he even stressed that America just does not do that. The average American citizen does not pay attention to their surroundings, and therefore incidents occur, and they look at it as if it was a surprise. Even though a country like Israel is surrounded with terrorism on a daily basis, yet conduct themselves much like we do every day. And they go to the movies, they go to the malls, they go to their universities and schools, they ride their buses. And yet incidents occur around them because they're aware and they take precautions. The number of incidences that were stopped in Israel far exceed the number of incidences that occur. Whereas unfortunately, we have a lot of incidences that occur that through a series of Monday morning quarterbacking, if you will, you could have deterred it or prevented it altogether.
To take that example and to truly drive it home, if I'm at the grocery store, if I'm at the gas station, what kinds of things are you talking about in terms of us as Americans being more vigilant in terms of our surroundings? Well,
a prime example that we used, that we actually observed, is we went in and we put a bag, a McDonald's bag, a large McDonald's bag in a mall, not in the trash can but alongside the trash can. And we waited to see who would either put the bag in the trash can or observe it and call somebody pertaining to it. And this was immediately, this was within 3 months of 9/11. And people would walk by, even people there, the maintenance people would walk by because it was not their trash can to pick up, but nobody picked up on the fact that this was a full bag and was left alongside. Another prime example is we did the same thing with a briefcase and we did the same thing with a backpack in the exact same mall. And nobody reported it, nobody picked it up, took it to the lost and found. Even the security units didn't stop and look at it or observe it or even know that we had left it there. And those are those key things that we were talking about. Those are those things where, look, somebody just left a brand new $200 briefcase and walked off. You don't necessarily need to approach that briefcase, but in other countries there would have been a phone call, especially on a bus or a subway, that a backpack was left. And in most cases you'll see that throughout the campus. Somebody will leave their book bag, but nobody gets called on it. They just wait for somebody to come back and get it as if it was forgotten. And nowadays you just can't do that. You need to be aware that somebody should at least report that there was a lost bag or a bag that was left.
In those days following situations and tragedies like 9/11 and now Virginia Tech, do you find perhaps that the American public becomes a little more vigilant immediately following those times, and when people begin to feel safe, begin to feel less threatened, that sense of security restores to them and they're not nearly as watchful as perhaps they should be all of the time?
And that is very true. We saw where it was a spike, and most law enforcement agencies will tell you. The prime example is the Unabomber. I remember stopping at Franklin County, the Sheriff's Department, to drop off some training materials, and there was this big sign saying, "We are not the post office, you'll need to take your packages to the post office to be screened." And they had to do that because of the wake of the Unabomber. There was this every individual, there was this high spike that everybody took their packages before opening to the sheriff's department in hopes that they would open it just in case there was something inside of it. And that lasted about 2 days. And then after that, it completely died off. And that was even with the post office. And we saw that also with disturbances, the call loads for 911. And then all of a sudden, it would just level back out again. And unfortunately, it leveled back out to either where it was before or even below, because there was this heightened awareness at first, but then they see this large push for security, and they think that's maintained. Unfortunately, so is security as far as lowered. So therefore, that there's a false sense of security that is placed within probably 2 to 3 days, and within months, it's back to normal.
For those that perhaps watch these types of events, particularly, again, Virginia Tech and the situation with 9/11, if there is a good to come out of those situations, I think there are oftentimes people who watch programs, even programs like CSI, and perhaps get an interest for wanting to become involved in criminal justice and law enforcement. For those who say, I see that tragedy, and if I perhaps were involved in that field, or I want to now become involved in that field to prevent these things from happening, what to them who don't know specifically what the field encompasses, what kinds of things really are you talking about in a career in those situations?
Well, I think that's what that people misunderstand the field of criminal justice. They see criminal justice as law enforcement, and criminal justice is a very diverse field. It is large and many opportunities for people to enter into specific fields. And I think that's where people are lost. Everything from civilian jobs to military jobs to the federal agencies within the larger organizations, such as the FBI and DEA. But even on a local level, we have, if you break down local law enforcement, you have the CSI or the criminal techs, the investigators, and you also have, with the very large field being growing. You have computer thefts and computer crimes, and you have crimes within the Department of Health that have to be investigated. You have fire investigations. You have everything that comes back to the criminal justice field for the training. So I think, but we do see that. We see that especially after incidences like this, where people say, I want to get involved. I may not want a career change, but I want to get involved. And then we also see those younger people who were truly impacted, who within a couple years, because of that memory, and we're seeing that from 9/11, we're seeing those people now getting into the profession or getting into that age of going to school, and their excitement is there. It's intense to see them in the classroom. They want to learn and they want to make a difference.
And that's a good thing.
And it is a very positive thing. A prime example that I use all the time within my class is the World War II veterans after the bombing of Pearl Harbor. They did not have to use the draft. They flooded the areas. There were people left and right. There were young and old signing up to go fight in a war that up to that point they really were not paying attention to. And we've, as they said, waked the giant, And I think that's what happened after 9/11. I think we'll see that too with Virginia Tech. There'll be a rise of people wanting to understand. But I think coming out of that, those students that were immediately affected, you'll see them becoming involved in social justice issues, issues pertaining to community. But for security's sakes, they need to attach to something that helps them feel secure. And the criminal justice field is one of those fields that you'll see them target.
As you mentioned, the field of criminal justice, specifically here at Jefferson, we've taken, I think, some major positive strides in terms of not only revamping, but in many cases improving what we already had in terms of a criminal justice program. Tell us a little bit, if you will, Mark, about some of the classes that we offer as part of the criminal justice curriculum at Jefferson College.
Well, we took a year, looked back at everything that we had been doing, and it was a very positive year, and the program was very positive. But we wanted to make some adjustments, and we looked to where we allowed the people to start focusing on specific tasks, administration, criminal justice in the field of criminal investigations, criminal evidence, corrections. We started looking at the level in which the community college could help them. And so that way we stepped back. We added classes, as I said, like police administration. We took out the prerequisite so that somebody within public administration who would like to know more about law enforcement and how that administration is run, especially for city officials and government officials who would like that opportunity to understand more, they can take that course. Whereas in other institutions, they would have been required to take an intro class or additional hours in order to be able to get in there. We left that open. Criminal law, we opened up to other individuals who would like to know the court processes and the court procedures, whereas they used to have to take multiple classes to get into it. We opened or developed a course of Homeland Security, and that's one I'm really excited about because it is not necessarily focused just on Homeland Security, but on critical thinking, on decision making, on the understanding of a warfare. And most police officers, we had a unique opportunity to study with Pentagon officials after 9/11 with the Department of Justice. And when they started talking to us about the various wars and the war fighting, we started letting them know, well, that's law enforcement 101. What you're talking about, the soldiers having to learn about, police officers already know about. And so we saw a unique opportunity to develop a course that addressed that. And so it's still criminal justice, it's still pertaining to counterterrorism, but with an understanding of what we had discussed a little bit earlier on getting people to think, and in truth, to think outside the traditional box. And that's an exciting course. The other course that we added that I think the students will really like is the fact that we brought to the campus internships in criminal justice. And the unique opportunity there is that they'll have to pick within their profession 4 parts of that profession. So they can't just ride along in patrol. They'll have to study investigations. They'll have to study administration. They'll have to spend some time at a crime lab. And the same thing is with probation and parole or with the courts. They'll have to take 4 sections. So they don't just specifically look at something. They'll look at a very broad approach to their profession so that they truly understand their profession.
And I would think would give one a very well-rounded perspective, being forced to have experiences in all of those areas.
Yes, it is. And it's as opposed to when you start to interview for a job and they ask you your specific background and your knowledge of what you're getting into, and they can give 1 point. These people over a 6-month period, because of the internship and the uniqueness of its design, will be able to tell them, well, I understand why the administrator is doing it this way, and I also understand why I have to wait on X amount of days for the crime lab, because I know what their process is. And it's a very unique approach that in some who may have only attended the academy would not have that ability. So the students who take a traditional approach will have a leg up on a lot of people. And the other one that we've developed, and that'll be for the spring, is the ethics class. And it's not a philosophy of ethics. It's looking at how ethics plays a role within criminal justice and the issues. And we're going to go all the way back to looking at the Rodney King incident and that led into the LA riots, and the fact that in some cases, especially our young people, they have completely forgot about it because some of them were born after it. And so it's important that they understand that that is a current event that shaped the field of law enforcement, and it was ethical issues that were involved. And so that they know the importance of paying attention when they're in developing their ethical philosophies or their foundations. And we wanted to look at even current events of use of force and deadly force issues so that they understand the right and wrongs within there. So that's a very exciting course that was not there before. It's definitely not there before at a freshman or sophomore level.
Sounds like what you've done is taken a good program and made it into an even better program. There's some of these kinds of current activities that in courses that simply didn't exist before.
Oh yes, and when you look at the fact of our local agencies being involved with us, we've shifted the fact that our adjunct personnel are made up of working professionals. We have people such as Forrest Wegge, who's the county prosecutor, who's going to be overseeing criminal law. You have Chief Tim Lewis of Festus Police Department, who's going to be helping and assisting with criminal investigations, criminal evidence. You have Chief Doug Roos. Both of them are National Academy, FBI National Academy graduates and graduates of a master's degree in law, in criminal justice. They're going to be overseeing things as criminal evidence, criminal investigations, police administration. So we're bringing all this uniqueness that is currently out there involved in the day-to-day operations. We're bringing it to the classroom and we're getting the students' hands-on approach to training.
And Mark, I would certainly think in Jefferson being a community college, that's a key linkage between both county, municipal, in some cases state, and even other cases national agencies to support the viability and the strength and quality of what we're trying to do here at Jefferson College.
It is. It's very important that we create that link and we don't create that separation, because if that's the case, then we run a great risk of losing our students to outside areas in which they are looking for opportunities, and those opportunities are right here at Jefferson College. They don't have to look outside at other institutions to find what they need to prepare themselves for the criminal justice field.
Another things that I was reading about today before we came on the air is the fact that Jefferson has a new law enforcement academy. Obviously, you and I are talking about the criminal justice program. How do those two, although different, but yet similar programs coexist here at the college?
Well, this is one of the unique opportunities at Jefferson College. It's one of the first in the country that's going to be done this way. It is definitely the first one in Missouri to have ever done this within the community college setting, for sure, nationwide. And that is that the combination of the criminal justice degree within the academy, where an individual can attend Jefferson College's Law Enforcement Academy and while there obtain their Associate of Applied Science, not have to take additional courses, not go beyond the courses after graduation. When they complete the academy, they will have an associate degree as well as 1,000 hours of law enforcement training and a Class A certification. You won't find that anywhere else except Jefferson College.
That is quite unique.
It is.
That's quite a bragging point.
It is.
Along with that, if I'm a student watching this program today, I have a little bit of interest either in law enforcement or perhaps in criminal justice. What are the unique aspects beyond what you've just mentioned in terms of being the only one in the state? What are some of the unique aspects in terms of why I should pursue or give serious consideration to Jefferson College?
Well, I think that the possibilities are endless here. We have several different tracks. We have a traditional track in which the student can exceed their possibilities of taking a class, but go beyond just the simple, well, I want to learn about the profession. They can continue to learn about it, to grow into a degree. We don't have to lock them into, well, you're going to go for the Associate of Applied Sciences, Associate of Arts degree. No, they can just attend classes, they can observe classes, and that's a uniqueness with community colleges. They're not enrolling like at a university. They can get their feet wet. That's one possibility. The other one is the law enforcement training. They can go into the academy and at that same process be going towards a degree as well as their Class A. And then you have your transfer degree. And that is uniqueness in the fact that, especially for a cost savings, they can attend their first years at a community college and then transfer to a university. And we are in the process of developing several articulation agreements with major universities and major colleges within the areas, besides having one that's right here on the campus. So if they want to stay local and they like it here and they want to finish on with their 4-year degree and beyond, they can do it right here at Jefferson College. And then the other one that's unique is our online degree. We have taken all of our classes that are going to be offered both day and evening and in the academy, and we're developing it so the person can take them online at the same pace as they would by attending here, but maybe because of their circumstances or their shift changes or their just physical abilities, they can't get out of the house, but they do want to know about CSI and they do want to learn of what they're watching on TV. They can do right from the comfort of their own home or their laptop.
And those are some great options. And again, I think ones that most folks don't realize are available to them.
Oh, it is. And it's not available at every institution. That's the key thing. A lot of times you'll see, well, what's the difference if I go to this community college and that community college? Jefferson College is unique in the fact that we have multiple approaches to obtaining that same goal. And at the same time, you're not pressured to obtain that same goal. A student who wants to study law enforcement, but at this time does not feel right to go through the academy, they can actually study the same subjects and go through what would be called a traditional approach. They can attend the criminal justice classes and they're studying the same material in the academy. And then later in their life, if they so desire to go through an academy, they can. But maybe it's a federal training program that they want to attend. They don't want to attend a state and local training program. Well, then we can provide that for them. Then there's those other ones that say, I want to go, I want to train, I need my degree to promote, but I want to go right to work. We provide that as well. And that's a uniqueness that's not found anywhere. And a lot of individuals have attended academies both here and throughout the state and throughout the country who received college credit, but at the point of graduation, because of their shift changes or the multiple tasks or raising a family, they never had the opportunity to finish their degree. And currently now they're on rotating shifts, so they've never had an opportunity to finish that degree. We've provided them to allow them to take that credit that they received or may not have received but obtained the training, apply it towards credit, and then apply it towards a degree, and now they could finish the degree that they never had an opportunity to do before. And that's a unique approach.
As you presented a lot of information this afternoon, a lot of great information. In fact, I've appreciated our visit. How can folks who are watching our program this afternoon get more information about our criminal justice program here at Jefferson College?
Well, they can call us direct at 636-797-3000, and my extension is 373. And the Law Enforcement Academy is 425. And they can check us out on the web at www.jeffco.edu.
Great. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Great interview. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, again, it's one of very interesting, many interesting programs that we have here at Jefferson College, providing you with a variety of options to receive a degree or simply to train in the field of criminal justice. Thanks for watching. I've been your host, Roger Barentine, and you've been watching the Jefferson College Spotlight.
Great education.
Friendly atmosphere.
Beautiful campus.
The convenience and the affordability.
My experience at Jefferson College has been wonderful.
I find the quality of education here at Jefferson College to be one of a kind.
My experience at Jefferson College has been a major plus in my life and one of the best decisions I've made.
Jefferson College would be the place that I would recommend the most.
I'm Katie Williams.
I'm Kevin Higginbotham.
I'm Ann Martinson.
I'm Tony Markovich, and I'm proud I chose to attend Jefferson College.